injury. Quite ominously, a couple of weeks ago, you talked about how many injuries there were for big players in women's football at the moment, and particularly with Arsenal's injury situation, you haven't been able to rotate those wide positions. I know it's difficult to be certain, but do you think there's, an element of fatigue or loading in the injury that Beth got?
It's a good question. It's hard to answer, of course, because you don't know all the variables in it. Player loading and fatigue is obviously something that we constantly monitor and we're concerned about. So if that would have been a factor that would have been obvious for us leading up to this game, then we wouldn't have played her. But then it still can happen, which makes it so difficult, of course. And when you see the amount of injuries, yes, I think the schedule of games, especially for players playing tournaments, it doesn't help with the injury situation.
And my other question as well is, when we spoke a few weeks ago when Leah and Hafa were out, and I asked you about whether the kind of structure of the defence, or not the structure of the defence, whether the team would have to change a little bit. Now, obviously, you've lost Beth and Kim, who are two players who just always play. Does that lead to another kind of tweak for you, do you think?
I think you can't take things for granted. I think one of my biggest reflections from the Man United game was that when you change players, you are not only changing one player, you're basically putting out a new team out there. And that means that everything you now do, you have to start from the basics. And you can't take for granted that just because we did something 3 weeks ago, that will per automatic happen again. And so that's where we need to work with. And don't forget the basics. So we're building block by block, and don't think that we can start building on something we had 5 weeks ago. And I think I made a mistake before the United game with that, even if time was short. And now we put that right here for the Juventus game.
Anything else from the room before we go to the call? Emma.
Hi, Jonas. I just wanted to ask, first of all, about Beth Mead as well. As Tim mentioned, how is she, and how has the team reacted? Obviously, knowing that it's such a serious injury for her.
The team and people in and around the club been very supportive, and I hope Beth can feel that we all care for her, and we all want to do the best for her in a tough time like this.
And obviously now that means that sort of is there more pressure on the rest of the team to step up and sort of take on the responsibility that she had, being such a key player as part of your team in both scoring goals and creating them too?
The responsibility in a team is always shared in a team sport. It's never individual outputs that are measured. It's always the team that will have an output. And just like I was answering Tim before, now it comes obviously on me to select a team that can create as good output as possible together, and that's the challenge that we have ahead or in front of us here now.
Thanks, Emma. Dan?
Hi, Jonas. Hope you're well. What have you kind of taken away from Juventus's first two performances in the group?
That they're a very competitive team. I think Juventus as a club in Women's Champions League have shown that consistently over the last seasons, that they can compete with any team in Europe, and they've been doing it very well. So we have a lot of respect for them, and we understand and we are fully aware of that it will take a very good performance from us tomorrow in order for us to get the result we want.
And how do you feel that the Italian league compares? Obviously, it's somewhere behind the Super League, but how do you feel that the Italian league compares in terms of the growth towards, the league that, it's becoming, if you like?
I think you see massive growth in Italian club football on the women's side. I think there are a lot of teams that are competitive. I see exciting games when I watch the Italian league, and you can see that also in the league table with the points, that it's very competitive there now with the top 6 teams that can qualify for the second round of the season. So definitely one of the leagues in Europe that is most rapidly improving.
Thanks, Jonas. That's great. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Eleanor from Sky.
Hi, Jonas. You've had a great start to the group stages. I just wonder, how important is it for you at this point to keep that momentum up and get another win tomorrow?
That's what we're here for, to do our very best in order to try and achieve that. And football is fast in both directions, both when you win and when you lose. And we want to have a total different performance as a team than we had against Manchester United here last Saturday. So that's the most important thing for us, and it's an excellent opportunity to get that right here tomorrow.
We'll come back to the room. Prego.
Sì, salve, mister Giovanni Albanese Gazzetta. In parte ha già risposto sulla Juve, però le chiedo su quali giocatrici avete focalizzato le maggiori attenzioni nella preparazione della partita. Chiaramente giocatrici della Juve, grazie.
The wrong player, because I always like to see my old player play, Sara Björk Gunnarsdottir, but now I heard that she's not available to play tomorrow. I still hope I'll meet her, but I also look forward to see her play again. I think she's a great competitive player that embodies and spirits a lot of the things that I believe is important in football.
Mauro Munno, Juventus News 24. Sappiamo che Lina Hurtig è infortunata, è una giocatrice che viene dalla Juve, che ha fatto fatica ad esprimersi al meglio qui a Torino. Volevo chiedere qual è il suo giudizio sulla sua stagione sino a questo momento. Grazie.
Great talent, Lina. I think her injury now came at a really bad timing. If an injury ever can come at a good timing, this was a really bad timing, because I felt like Lina consistently was starting to put together some really good performances in trainings, and when you see that, you know it's only a matter of time before you will see them shine through on the matches as well. I felt just that momentum was building, and was really looking forward to see her playing more and more for us. And then the injury came, and now we just hope she can get back as quickly as possible again to start building that again.